Adam, good morning. Happy Tuesday, my man. How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I'm optimistically excited. I guess that's the word. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm doing really good, man. We got a truncated week here today. You know that I've got a lot of golf already lined up for the weekend, so hard for me to be in a bad mood here today. I will say, not that you care, but I will say one thing that would really make my day here is if Edmonton can get a win and extend the Stanley Cup Finals. My favorite sport. I love watching it, and I don't want it to end.
Playoff hockey is the best. Enjoy.
It's the best. It's the absolute best. Question is, how are you? What's new in your world?
Market's been good. I mean, last week, was it last week? It seems that everything, so much happened so fast. But I was up in the morning and I had to go to an event for a friend. And I came home and my whole day was gone. And it was because the president and Elon Musk were feuding. And every tweet back and forth was causing action. It was moving Uber up. It was moving other satellites up. And then it was gone in a day. Everything was fixed. But then now we have another war. So just trying to keep up with the events and realize that, and the market doesn't react to any of it for more than a day.
I'll tell you, man, I was saying at the beginning here, the news cycle never sleeps. And if you blink, you might miss something. You're right. We moved on from a spat to a new war here. And the market throughout all of this has remained resilient. I mean, hell, we're looking at the SPY here. We're still less than 3% from all-time highs. We're really just kind of traded sideways. We haven't broke down on any of this news yet. So what are you doing in order to trade this wildness?
So the positions I'm in are a little less affected by them. So okay. I found my kind of little core group of stuff that's moving around. I'm not in as much of the big names for my personal trading right now. Continue to collect premium. I'm in MVST. It's a battery stock, Microvast.
Okay.
It's just something that like I promised myself I wouldn't sell because all the numbers look good. And at one point I did because it got down to $1.27. And I was like, all right, I'm done looking at this. But then it got me back in and now it just keeps hitting new highs. It's going to open at another new high today. So just keeping an eye on it. And that's something that moves in its own world. The thing about this, though, is that I'll tell you, it's a $4 stock that could have like 50-cent down moves in a second. So I'm
pretty sure we've actually seen this moving around recently off the scanner. Someone might have traded this one yesterday, short term. Remind me if you're here. I feel like this one came up yesterday. Nice little move right up out of the gate. So you think this has got some more legs here, MVS?
Yeah, it's acting like it has. It's going to make a nice pop. So I'm trying to make sure that I stay in it, despite the fact that it moves around a lot for a little stock. Yeah, I'm in that Core Z still has been good to me. I've been talking about that for a while with everybody, so that's been good. Bido, I keep collecting my dividends in once a month. You know which ones? Want another one? Because I know, listen, like we could always talk about the bigger names, but I like to talk about the stuff for individually that could be exciting. This one's speculative and this is cheap, but 3D has come to life the last couple of days. It's probably in my Mesh Prime service, this is my only loser in the last couple of months. So the rule is you're supposed to let your losers go. But I couldn't let this go and kind of hold on because they're getting into new stuff. I do think it's a long-term hold, but
okay. So 3D, you mean DDD, 3D Systems, right? The 3D printing company.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're getting into a whole new business, the spare parts business. And, they need a lot less space because they could just make it on demand. But it's a longer term play. But it just came up 30 cents over the last couple of days. So that was good because I have a lot of that.
Okay. So interesting. So EKS here from the chat, still burning cash. Is that something that you're not worried about? What are you looking at here for the next possible move? Is it news based? Is it chart based?
No, this one is more news based. I'm looking for that new spare part business to show signs of success because there's a lot of revenue they can pull in from there. So, but yes, they are burning cash, and I've been wrong on this one. So But I'm always honest. I'm just telling you what I have.
No,
I'm looking at.
and I appreciate that. I mean, I too. That's the way I like to go. I'll say this. I know that this is just anecdotal, but really quickly, one of my buddies, he's actually pretty talented with his 3D printer, and he has told me there's double-digit things around his house, from his lawnmower to a picture frame and everything in between, that he has fixed by literally designing, creating, and printing his own parts on his 3D printer. He actually has several of them. He makes me a bunch of stuff that's like decorative
Right.
for the game that we play together. So I'm a big proponent of this. This spare parts angle is actually extremely interesting to me, especially if this tariff thing really kind of gets worse. We've yet to see that, but if it really gets worse and you're able to domestically print parts at home, that seems pretty good.
You know, the thing about these stocks, I'll tell you, is they're cheap enough to be market agnostic for the most part. So when the market opens up down today, I'm not going to have a really like red all over my screen because I'm in these positions. The market itself is the bigger play, and I watch that all the time. And we're sitting right below our highs, and it seems like we're just waiting to see if we're going to have that explosive move where we break out, which is crazy, you know. But I can't see any reason why we won't. So that's the bigger play, you know, is that we just keep falling forward and up, and I don't know. It's just
I'm with you. It definitely feels like the market is just kind of waiting for like that all clear signal to pop to new highs. Now, if it pops to new highs, maybe runs for a few days, and then I don't know what it's going to do next, but it definitely feels like that. And we had news here this morning, I guess yesterday overnight. Trump signed the deal with the UK while he was there in Canada. We had news this morning. I think it was Thailand, Pakistan, a couple of other countries are like really, really close. Apparently, they were resubmitting proposals and things like that. So maybe we do get that catalyst here that kind of pops us to new highs. That'd be something. We've been saying here in our chat that this feels like a hated rally from the beginning of October. We feel like there are a lot of people that kind of missed out on this. Even myself, in some cases, missed out in some of these big moves.
So
but
you're saying beginning of October.
What? The rally?
Yeah.
No. I'm saying literally since we traded down 20% to 479.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
This rally back up is so hated. There are the worry about tariffs, the worry about Trump. Oh my God, this and that, everything's bad, war. And it's just the market continues to trade up. It continues to remain resilient. And I feel like there are a number of people that missed this quick and fast move in here. And if they're still off sides, if they're not ready, and all of a sudden we get some good news, I mean, I think this thing is going higher, and there are going to be people that continue to miss it.
By the way, I don't use technicals as much as I used to. I'm more shorter term momentum, but that chart does look like the market's going to explode higher.
Does it not? I mean, we come right back to where we were, and then we continue to trade sideways. It's almost like it's waiting for something.
It's like a cup and handle.
Yeah.
Like a giant cup and handle.
Yeah. I got a really quick follow-up. First of all, join Adam's free webinar on June 18th to get his summer's hottest trades. I'd like to hear about some of those if you have some that we haven't talked about yet. The other thing that I wanted to ask you is, are you playing any of the new IPOs? Voyager, Chime, any of those? I know we talked about CoreWeave in the past, but since then we've actually had a Circle was one of them. Are you playing any of those IPOs? Or any of them interesting to you?
They're interesting to me. I am not playing them. I had, I mean, I'll take your, I don't know how far back. When did you start trading?
2014.
Oh, okay. So I started in 1998. There was an IPO called M3P. It was an M3P player. It IPO'd at 104 and it closed that day at 40.
Oh, God.
And I was still in it, and I lost $67,000. And I said, I'm never going to go big into IPOs again. And I stuck to that. I was so many rules I break because I've been trading for so long, you eventually break them. But that one, like, I don't really trade IPOs when they first come out because of the volatility. And I got burnt so bad once that I don't know. I just don't. I waited for him to set that. CoreWeave was really good. I did short Newsmax just because I know the company very well, and it was a little bit personal. I know the owner. I used to do business with them.
That's awesome.
I used to do business with them, and I saw when I was trading over 100. I'm like, this is no way this company is worth that.
No way.
But yeah, so my rule is to avoid IPOs just based on individual experience. Same reason I don't trade oil stocks.
And that makes a lot of sense. The only reason I ask is because, CoreWeave here, we had the huge move and then it came back in and it just kind of sat there for a little bit. And then we had the real move. And one of the recent ones here, Circle, this isn't even really waiting. This took off for 3 days, consolidated for 3 days, and again is still trading higher. I actually did take a stab myself at this Voyager one, ticker VOYG. It looks like this has bottomed here. I'm hoping, knock on wood. Hopefully, I didn't just jinx myself.
What is Voyager?
This is going to be like a defense and space conglomerate. So defense and space technology company committed to advancing and delivering transformative mission critical solutions. It operates across three primary divisions: defense, national security, space solutions, and Starlab space stations. My thought here was, well, defense is obviously in focus with a lot of the conflicts going on. The space theme has really been ripping. I mean, I know Redwire did an offering last night and is trading down here, but a lot of those space stocks have really been ripping. I'm extremely bullish on cybersecurity in 2025 and 2026, and this kind of seemed like a confluence there. I did talk to a couple of my buddies who said, yeah, keep an eye on this one. We might have a move in this one. So adding that to it too, but hasn't happened yet. We'll see. We'll see if we end up getting that here.
You know what's interesting? So the way my portfolio is set up that we do, it's we collect a lot of premium, we collect dividends and things, so it's easy for us to stay in them. So I'm in a bunch of stocks. We are in a bunch of stocks from before the market downturn. So when the Qs were at 405, we were still in these, but we did hedge. So I'm in a bunch of positions where we hedged in a way that if it went through our hedge, which means we sold a call against it, that we were profitable. It's just our upside is limited. So URA is a great example. It's a stock we kind of hedged and have to keep rolling back, but we were profitable, but we had sold the 30 calls and it's trading at 38. So I have like a bunch of positions where I'm kind of stuck like that, where our profit, and I told them when we hedged, our worst case scenarios, we're just going to miss out on some of the upside because if it rallies too fast, we did. So now it's like this interesting position where if we get enough of a downturn, we'll be able to roll these options again. But if not, the trade is over. So I ended up with like 3-4 of those positions. And then since then, it's just been shorter term trading, scalping, taking advantage. But that's the base. It's just an interesting position to be in. You know which one's been good too? We bought the 8 calls and we tripled our money, doubled and tripled on some of the options. PCT just went to 13 from 8. That was a good one. So that was
interesting. So what's the deal with this? Because I don't think we've talked about this here on my show recently. What's going on with this?
This is like some kind of recycling future tech play. The reason I like it is because like investment bankers told me about it. They said it's one to watch. So the right people told me to watch it. I kept an eye on it, came all the way down. And then Mesh Prime, we bought 8 calls and we sold the first tranche for a double. Then we sold it for a triple, and then now we sold puts in it underneath it, and it just keeps going up. So it's good. I mean, it's had a good run right now, but this is one that we're trading really well.
Okay, this is a good one. I'll keep an eye on this one. I wouldn't chase this move, given the recent move that it made off the lows here. What was it, $5-6? But awesome. Another good one we can add to the back burner. What else you got?
Let me ask you, just as an interesting topic, and I think for the audience too, we have Waymo. We've discussed Waymo on here together.
Oh, yeah.
And Tesla, Uber, all of them are getting into that. And WeRide is another stock I've been looking at.
Yep.
How do you think this plays out?
Okay. All right. So this is an interesting one for me. So I think that this is going to continue to play out. I think that there are a lot of good stuff for driverless cars that I personally don't see at all, because I'm a big car guy. I like driving. So the autonomous car angle, I don't understand at all. Someone like my mom, who's becoming more elderly, I totally understand it. So I think this is going to proliferate. Now, as far as who's going to win this war, this is where it gets a little bit controversial. I'm going to just go with Tesla. And I understand there's the thought here that they're behind now. The CEO might be a little bit crazy and mad. There's a number of things that kind of, might make this pick a little, I don't really know. I just think they scale much faster than Waymo. I think the brand recognition is much better than Waymo. I think Tesla inevitably is going to win this battle, and they're going to be one of the bigger self-driving components here. The idea of being able to buy a Tesla and it self-drive itself to your house for delivery, I think that's pretty sweet. We'll see if that actually leads to winning this fight or more sales. My money's on Tesla. How about you?
Wait, is that a thing that you could buy it and it comes to your house?
Yes, that's literally what they're saying, that pretty soon when you buy your Tesla, when it rolls off the factory, it will drive itself to your house for delivery.
That's so cool.
That's what I'm saying. The other thing is we just had the first Tesla self-driving robotaxi in Austin. And when we saw, I actually shared the article the morning that we saw it. When we saw pictures of it, it looks like a normal car. It's got some decals on the side that identify it as a robotaxi, but otherwise it looks normal. Whereas the Waymo has the entire LiDAR equipment on it, looks all funny. And then of course those Waymo cars were getting destroyed in the LA riots and all of that. So I don't know. To me, it just seems like it's hard for me to bet against Elon. I spent a large portion of my early trading career doing that, and I got absolutely shredded from doing that. So I learned my lesson. And at this point now, I'm going to bet on Elon.
It's interesting because with the streaming wars, I remember when there was like Netflix and Disney and all them. I guess you could say Netflix won, but it didn't feel like there was a loser in that sense. So maybe in this case too, maybe there doesn't have to be a loser. If it works, it works.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a technology piece that's involved in all of them where we could just trade that, like some kind of supplier. Like I want, like this isn't the case, but like a micro, like the battery stock I'm in, if that's the battery they're making for all these cars or something like that, like something like that.
Well, the thought here was this was kind of like the LiDAR, right? Like LiDAR, what was the competitor? Someone's going to have to remind me, but this was part of the thought, like, well, LiDAR is going to be in all of these cars and it's going to be the predominant driving force behind the self-driving revolution. And then Elon Musk is like, well, I don't really like LiDAR as much. Waymo goes the LiDAR route. So the thing behind the thing is tough because it seems like these companies are approaching it a little bit differently. OOST. That's a good one, Webcoin. Thank you. So OUST, this is another stock that's actually been on a humongous run here recently. Has a pretty interesting chart. This also looks like it's going to scream higher despite being totally overbought. This one here, OOST is a provider of LiDAR sensors for the automotive, industrial, robotic, and smart infrastructure industries. And this moves on a regular basis. We've seen this on our scanner quite a bit. So here's one for you.
Oh, that's interesting.
OUST, yeah.
I'm gonna check that out. I got one more. I'm gonna make a big prediction because I come back here like once a month. So.
Yeah, let's go. I'm all for that.
All right. So you know how ASTS like broke out and then never came back to Earth and just has continued. It went from 9 to 16, then 25, then 30 something. Right now it's 40. That's crazy. So. Different space, but I think it's similar kind of feel to me. APLD, they signed that $7 billion deal with CoreWeave. They came up from, I was in Vegas with my buddy. He's the one who told me about it when I was trading at like $5 or $6. It shot up. It went to 15. It settled around here. Just keep an eye on it. I think it's going to settle, and we're going to find this stock later in the 20s. If not higher. I think it's one that you don't want to take your eye off of. That's my like more explosive play for the next couple of months.
Okay. I like that. We're going to follow up here on APLD because this too has been one that our group has been on quite often. I feel like there's been a number of recent news drops that has caused this to trade up in the pre-market. And we have traded this a number of times. There was, mentioned with NVIDIA. on APLD. This is a good one. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. We'll absolutely check back in here. APLD has actually made a pretty good move even recently.
Yeah, Brian wrote,
Yep.
Gonna go boom when they sign the next anchor tenant. Been watching it for a month. It just kind of, it never like came all the way back down like some of those stocks do. It's holding, which I like.
Okay. Anything else that you want that you like or want to discuss here?
No, with all the things we said, market's looking to open up down this morning. So it could be a day where you just kind of stay out of the way with what you got already, because I do think it's harder for these stocks to perform against the market. You want to go with the grain, just like in golf. And I'm glad you're playing a lot of golf coming up. I played 14 slopes the other day and very hilly, and it was tough.
There's a club around me called the Glen Club, where the Corn Ferry Tour is actually going to be in a couple of weeks here. I played it for the first time last Friday, and it was absolutely tremendous. Had my first real good look at eagle and left that putt 3 inches to the left for a tap-in bird. So the hunt for the eagle continues here. Real quick here, Adam. One of our chatters here, Izzy, asking about cores. I know that this is something that you've been watching for a while. Can you just elaborate on this a little bit, just because it got brought up? I think this person joined a little bit late.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I don't like to go on my phone on this thing, but I got a text about it yesterday from someone with a great article. They're related to CoreWeave, so that's where it starts. And this article says the most undervalued stocks in the entire stock market globally are companies with gigawatts of secured power that started as Bitcoin miners, but are about to announce large AI deals, period, full stop. And that's where you get into like a Cores. That's what they are. They started as Bitcoin miners, but now they are, secured power. And it just seems to be a stock that, like, I had said 12 was its value as long as CoreWeave stays in business. Do you remember me saying that?
Yeah. Yep.
I said it's a $12 stock if it stays in business. So we played it that way. It's been a stock I've traded really well. It's tough because 12 was my number. That was like what I was confident we would get to. Now we're here, we're holding. I do think it goes higher. I don't have as much as I used to, but I still have thousands of shares of it, and I'm hoping it will go higher, and I think it will.
Okay. Cores, Brian here saying Cores almost identical to APLD, so I'm unsurprised that you like both of them. Day Trader here, I saw that post about Cores that Adam just read. Compelling argument, considering the data center boom and the crunch on utilities. So, okay, good. So one more question that I wanted to ask you here real quick. On Thursday, we've got the Juneteenth holiday and the markets are closed. Yeah. I've just been trying to get a feel from other active market participants. What are you doing on Friday? Are you going to be an active trader on Friday? Do you have plans? Are you going to kind of half look at the market? How are you approaching the Friday session in between the weekend and the day off?
I thought you were going to ask me what I'm doing Thursday. I was the thing I'm playing golf too.
I just assumed.
Yeah. No, I expect Friday. So as we get towards the summer months, which we're in now, okay, Fridays are typically a lower volume day. But what's going to happen, like we saw last Friday, is any kind of news can be exacerbated because the volume's less. So you just have to be careful that you get these more extreme moves when less people are standing in the way. So summer Fridays, and we've seen this already a couple times, where it starts off the day going one way, and then you see towards the end of the day, people are calling BS on the move, starts to move the other way, and then you get a reversal on Monday. So I would say tread lightly on summer Fridays. The key, as Tom Sosnoff always says, be light. The key is not to make any big positions there. You could trade it, but just be light, because it's very easy that everything changes on Monday. So I like the idea of the positive drift, making trades, staying involved in the market, but I don't like saying, oh my God, look, Musk and Trump are spatting. I'm shorting everything I got into Tesla. Look at it, it's falling apart. And then Monday it's much higher, right? So don't fall in love on Friday.
Yeah, no,
Don't fall in love. Don't fall. You know the song Friday I'm in Love? We're going to go the opposite of that. Don't fall in love on Friday.
We're going to take the inverse of that one. No, I like that. And just because complicating that summer Friday phenomenon that you're describing here, we have FOMC data on Wednesday and then a close on Thursday. So I'm sure people are going to be digesting that information and then may lead into how they actually approach Friday. But if it's low volume and we get a head fake move, okay, really good stuff there. Appreciate it, Adam. Thanks Thanks for your time. Yeah.
You have 13 coming on again?
Yes, I do.
Do I get all my stock ideas now?
You get them right now. We'll do it right now. I promise you, folks. Before we get Adam out of here, join Adam for his free webinar on June 18th to get his summer's hottest trades. Who knows? Maybe we'll talk about some of those right now when we talk about some of those movers.
And as always, love your audience. So active, so and obviously you do a great job in getting everyone involved. And I appreciate being here. Thank you.
Yeah, and I appreciate you, Adam, and they appreciate you. We look forward to having you back. Thanks for making some bold calls. That's what we need here. Take care of yourself and go low this weekend, all right?
Bye. Thank you.
All right, take care.